Young people should be at the forefront of global change and innovation. Empowered, they can be key agents for development and peace. This is a quote from Kofi Annan, former United Nations Secretary General. He is an advocate for the inclusion of young people in the democratic process. Today, it is our extreme pleasure to speak with a young person who has recently been given a political mantle. Her accomplishments are such that it would appear that she has been preparing herself for the role that she has now attained. In addition to being an intellectual, she is adept at public speaking, has training in gender matters, policy, and political studies, and has already held leadership positions in various capacities. We welcome Senator Junior Minister, the Honorable Isalean Phillip, in quite an upgraded capacity this time around on Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm well, thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. Been here, no strangers to the show.
No.
So I'm happy to be here in my new capacity, my new position as Senator of the National Assembly. So I'm Junior Minister for various ministries, including youth empowerment and social development, gender affairs, aging, and disabilities. It's a mouthful. It's a lot, but
yes.
It is. It
Yes.
is a lot, and congratulations again.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
So very proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
was joking before we came on air that you are going to be an example for all of the Washington Archibald High School Wildcats.
Hey, go Washi, go.
Exactly. You can achieve it. You can achieve it, indeed. So let's begin with the portfolio that you have. What are you most looking forward to working with?
I'm actually looking forward to working with both ministries. So this for people too who may not know. So youth empowerment is usually with sports and culture, but under this administration, it's actually been split. So it's kind of its own ministry, so we can build out youth empowerment a bit more. And then social development, gender affairs, aging, and disabilities has always been a very vital ministry within government in order to facilitate social protections and social services to build resilience and to support the welfare of citizens and communities and families. And so in both areas, I'm pretty excited to work with both areas because, obviously I'm a young person and I believe in youth empowerment and youth inclusion and youth involvement. And on the social policy development side, that is an area of interest based on my education and training and my background in gender studies and development. So I'm actually excited about both areas. I think they're well suited for me.
Yeah, because when I look at your bio, I see that you pursued certain career paths that has led you to this, and it fits perfectly in what you did before. So my question to you is, you'll be assisting the Deputy Prime Minister.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So as a young person, what will you bring to this ministry?
So as a young person, I think what I intend and anticipate bringing is a youth-based perspective. And, you mentioned kind of innovation and that kind of growth, and to be able to support the development of these ministries in the areas where, I would like to be able to engage with young people on, a different kind of level, to be able to respond to the things that they're looking for, the things that they need. And as I say, build out the ministry of youth empowerment in particular, and then also for social development, bringing a gendered and youth perspective in order to improve services, improve system efficiencies, so that we can do better at delivering social protections and social services, which are actually very vital in the work that we do as our growth and sustainability as a federation.
Right. So a follow-up question to building out youth empowerment. Initial work, what have you surveyed the landscape to be, and what are you looking at?
So, well, like I said, so now that youth empowerment is standing on its own, we're actually looking to see how we can, build out a secretariat and kind of see how we can fulfill on some of these promises. So we know we've heard a lot about the youth policy and national youth policy for a number of years, and there have been consultations. So I would like to see that policy actually drafted, completed, and adopted. I would also like to be able to support the youth department and the youth officers in the department in terms of their programming and programming delivery, so that we can provide more support to youth-based organizations who do a lot of work. And I'd also like to be able to make stronger collaborations and partnerships actually with social development, because youth work is social work. Youth development is also part of social development. And so I would like to see stronger partnerships, stronger collaborations when it comes to programming and program delivery in relation to youth empowerment. And so that's what I would like to see as the new minister for these ministries. And so I'm hoping that I can work with the staff and departments to be able to facilitate some of these improvements.
Oh man, that is out the ballpark. What about the aging and disabilities part of your portfolio?
So that's actually quite new. So this is the first time, well, it's not new in terms of the delivery of services in these areas, but it's actually been highlighted as part of the ministerial schedule and portfolio, because in the campaign season, we know that the Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, as well as Dr. Hanley, they campaigned quite on some of the plans around improving elderly care services and improving supports around persons with disabilities and the differently abled. And so these aspects of community services has been highlighted because some of the manifesto plans from the SKNLP was to develop elderly care services, to improve elderly daily care, using the community centers to provide daycare services for the elderly, as well as to enact legislation around the prevention of abuse for the elderly. And this kind of aligns with the demographics of our population, where we actually have people are living a lot longer. We have a number of centurions, and we already know that through social development, they already do programming to support and celebrate our elderly, especially those who arrive at the age of 100. And so we want to see how we can support elderly in that regard a lot more and improve elderly care, because we know that they are becoming a larger part of our demographic and our population. And that's just as a result of the improvements in quality of life. So, we're grateful for that. But of course, now we have to also adjust and improve our services so that we can support these populations and these people.
I found that you have quite a unique assignment because you are dealing with youth empowerment in one end of the spectrum. And then you're dealing with aging.
Yes. If you think about it, to be honest, so the actual Ministry of Social Development and Community Services is really about looking at society from zero to death. And so that is actually the spectrum in which we kind of consider and look at providing services and providing social protection. So that's just the nature of social policy development, because you have to address this spectrum from, like I said, from zero to death. And so for me, it's just kind of, I'm looking forward to the challenges that may arise. And I think it's kind of interesting to see, because you have the different milestones. And I think youth empowerment as its own arm is particularly important because, we always talk about young people being the future, and they really are. And so I think for me, especially as the youngest member of parliament, youngest member of cabinet, it's important for me to bring that voice, and it's important for me to be able to offer that perspective and champion and advocate for young people, especially as we age and we grow, and we want to be able to have a federation and a country and a society that is appealing to us as the next generation and is ready for us to take on. So I'm excited about all of it. It's, some of it is new, but, it's not intimidating me to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't do this, but I am actually very excited. And I actually want to thank everybody for the support and encouragement that I've received ever since, the announcement of my position as my appointment as senator. It's actually been overwhelming, the support, and, it's a boost to my confidence. So I appreciate it. So I'm appreciative. So thank you all to everybody.
Well deserved indeed.
You speak very well, and as I said, 2009 to 2010, you were the Leeward Island debating, is it competition champion?
So yes, I was part of the Leeward Island debating team that came out of this Clarence Fitzgerald College. So I was a second year in my first year, and then in my second year I was a lead to bring home the championships. Both years we did. So debated with some of my peers on the team. So
would you say that's the reason why you were able to express yourself so well?
Oh, absolutely. It helped. I think I've always been involved in youth groups that have facilitated my public speaking skills. So I was also part of my church groups, the Anglican Young People's Association, that we did quite a bit of impromptu speaking, which actually helped develop my public speaking as well. So that just kind of led on to my interest in debate. I've always just been interested in issues, and then debate was actually, it really did help to hone my skills in that area.
Nice.
All right, we're going to make things a little more personal right now.
Sure.
Because, as I was saying, you are the daughter of a priest.
I am, yes.
And we joked about how disciplined you must have had to be at home.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the impact that spirituality has had on your life so far and how you see it impacting your new role.
So spirituality is actually very important to me. So I do subscribe to Christianity. I'm a Christian, and so I do follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, and it actually keeps me grounded. It keeps me grounded in who I am. And when I think about, what my purpose is here on this earth, I always kind of center in regards to the teachings that I was brought up with. And so that's been very important to me. And I think that was a really great gift that my parents have given me in terms of training me in that regard. And so for me, I think based on that, in the exercise of this role that I have in my responsibilities, one of the things it's kind of taught me how to be compassionate in the delivery of my service to the people. I think I always think about how to be fair and how to be just. I think about it's important for me to be honest in the delivery of my own responsibilities. And so these are just character traits and factors that are important to me in terms of the way that I will take my approach to work and in working with my colleagues and in working with the people who I come across. So it's really helped to train me in that way. And so this just forms a part of who I am, essentially. So that's just kind of what it is for me, really.
I love that you said that it keeps you grounded because I know sometimes in these positions we've seen, unfortunately, and not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but all over the world, sometimes examples of what it feels like when people think that they're in powerful positions and they do not have to answer to anyone else. And this is a higher power that you do have to answer to.
Yes, and that's definitely how I think about it. I think for me, public office is about service. And, I would stress to people that, the government is meant to serve the people. The people are not meant to serve the government. And so, and I think that's a clear understanding that I'm confident that the members of this present cabinet have as people. And so that's also what made me say yes to being a part of this team, because I also believe that there's a shared understanding of the service that we have to deliver to the people. And, for me, that delivery of service comes from my higher calling of, what is my purpose here on earth as a human being, to answer to kind of a greater power than is myself or than is any of us, and I think we're here to love and care and serve each other. And so that is, I've been given this opportunity to do that at a capacity that I would never have, thought or imagined at this point in my life. And so that's what I strive to do. That's what I aspire to do. So I just trust that I'll be able to do it well.
I know for persons that are watching this program presently, when you walk into the room, nobody's going to be apprehensive about who you are because you have already placed their minds at ease concerning being humble, serving, and working together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not in this to, I'm not in this to gain anything. I wasn't expecting it as an opportunity. And so for me, I'm even still at a point where I'm trying to understand this is a platform that I have. How can I use it and define it to do good and to influence positive change across the board? And so, I'm happy to try my best to engage in. Of course, there are restrictions and constraints within the nature of a system that we exist in, and the system is not the best, but, even if it's just to be able to leave the system better than I met it, if that's all I can do, then that's as far as I'm going to go, but we'll see,
So Isalean, Honorable Minister, for a young person who is not self-confident and not sure if they can play a role in democracy, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to, regardless of where you are in this space and in this world, there's always an opportunity to lead from wherever you land. And leadership can be as simple as if you're a sibling in your home and you choose to be the one to make sure that the dishes are washed. Leadership doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be, spectacular. You might not get the glory, but it's about taking responsibility as an individual to say, well, something can be done better, and I'm going to be the one to do it better, even if nobody else is doing it. Not because everybody is doing something means that it's right. Sometimes you just need one person to do something differently, and so I would encourage people to not have to think so grand in terms of what it means to be a leader or what it means to get involved. Sometimes it can be as simple as contributing to a discussion when you're amongst your friends. It can be as simple as when you're in school, contributing to say, well, you know, we don't like the way that this thing goes, or we need more toilet paper in the bathrooms, and advocating for that. You know what I mean? It can be simple, and you know, the simple things then become bigger things, and you develop confidence over time when you learn to use your voice and to walk in your truth. And that is how, you know, I think that's what leadership development essentially is. Every small step becomes a bigger step. So.
This is our next Prime Minister.
I don't know about that, but
I'm predicting.
But you know, yeah.